Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Well, I'm really pleased to interview today's guest. Very, I would say, multi-talented. She is an actor, an acting coach, a director, music instructor, public speaker, and an author. Ladies and gentlemen, Ania Danylo.
Ania Danylo.
Danylo. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, Nancy. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
So I want to know what started first, the acting or the music instructing? What?
Oh, definitely the acting. Music I started when I was 5, and it wasn't at all what I thought it was going to be. For 6 months, I played C, 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 C. Not at all what I had hoped for. Okay. So eventually I kind of kicked my way out of music, kicking and screaming. But I came back to it as a music teacher and fell in love with it all over again through musical theater. So acting started in high school.
Oh, all right. Okay, so now I know you're an author. We just before I started talking to the audience, you mentioned you have 2 books, right?
That's right.
That you've written.
I have 2 books that I've written. They are both children's picture books. So I worked very closely with the illustrators. In fact, the first book I actually did 3 times by myself before I got nervous and hired somebody just to make sure that it was copyright perfect and free and all of that. Right. And the second one, I worked very closely with a gentleman from the United Kingdom, David Griffiths, wonderful illustrator. And then I got really brave and did the cover design myself on that one.
Very good. Can you show us the books?
I can. The first one is The Elephant's Christmas Wish.
Oh, Ken, it's too blurry. Hold it closer to you. It's so blurry. We can't. Oh, there it is. The Elephant's Christmas Wish. Okay, very good. Yeah. So what inspired you to write that one?
Well, for years and years and years, I did a lot of interactive theater, especially at Christmas time for corporations and communities. And for that, I wrote original plays that were interactive and Christmas theme based. And I did that, as I said, for many years. And then I got tired of carrying my set on my back and traveling Western Canada. So I stopped doing that. But I guess I still had a little bit of Christmas in me. So I sat down one day and I wrote this poem about an elephant who wanted to be part of Christmas. His name is Felix. And originally, I didn't conceive of it as a book. I thought of it as a TV special, as a cartoon. And I actually went to a pitch fest and I found a producer that would produce it if I could find a network that would air it. Oh. And I found at the same pitch fest the producer and a network that would air it, but the network wanted it to be 1 hour to 2 hours long. Okay. And at the time, this was in 2003, I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, that was just overwhelming. I had absolutely no idea how to do that. Right. Now I could do a half hour. I could even write it into 2 hours. But I was sitting around with one of my adult students one day and we were just sharing some writing because I helped them write and whatnot. And I read a couple of things I had written and I read this one, The Elephant's Christmas Wish. And he just looked at me and went, "Why am I not reading that to my grandkids?"
Oh, nice.
Oh,
nice. I
can make it into a book. So I did. So like 15 years after I wrote it, I turned it into a book.
Very good. Yeah. Now you've written a second book.
I wrote a second book because I felt really silly having a website with 1 book on it. And B, I realized I really enjoy writing and I really enjoy putting stories together. I teach a lot of storytelling classes and I thought, well, I got some time. I'm teaching a little bit less these days. And so I went into writing the second book, which took me about the same amount of time as writing the first book, which was about half an hour, and then 7 months to publish it.
So you're self-published?
I am self-published.
Yeah. Okay. You want to show us the second book?
Absolutely. We've got a hard copy and a paperback.
Oh, hold it. No, it's too blurry. Pull back a little bit. You can't see it. It's too blurry. Can you, whoops, yeah, I just had it for a second.
Let me see if I if I do this little funky thing, no, that won't work.
That won't work. Okay.
No. Okay, I will.
Okay, if you can move to your left. There you go. Perfect. There it is. Okay.
There's the name of it.
Okay. And we saw for a minute that
Try and
no, can't see it now.
there you go.
So where can, if people want to buy your book, where would they get them?
They can get them virtually any, well, no, that's actually not true. I'm doing a lot of book signings at Indigo chapters in Calgary.
Nice.
So anybody around Calgary, I am at Dalhousie this Friday, this Sunday. I'm at Market Mall next Thursday.
Sorry, this won't air till the 22nd.
Okay, well, I'll be traveling around in Calgary from Dalhousie Indigo to Crowfoot Indigo chapters and Market Mall Indigo chapters. It's also online through Amazon. I didn't publish through Amazon, but it's online through Amazon. Zolamina is on Kindle Unlimited. The Elephant's Christmas book is not, but they're available in hard copy and paperback.
Yeah.
I also have a coloring book version of the Elephant's Christmas Wish, which I did because I thought that was fun. So a lot of people like to buy the book, see the pictures, and then take their hand at coloring them. The lady that Elizabeth Hewson, who did the coloring book conversion, did a fantastic job of it. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
But it's available through Barnes and Noble, through Bookmart, through Walmart, I think. Even if you just Google it online, it's got a ton of places that it is available.
Okay, or they can just contact you, right, directly on Facebook and get
absolutely if they want to reach out to me. And what I'll do is I will put my website in your chat mode here.
Okay.
And I'm very clever. I might even be able to upload a copy of my book there.
It's kind of interesting the things we can do now. Okay, so
that's my email. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Let me just going to take a photo of it in case it doesn't. Do you want to post it again?
Just I can post it again.
Email again, just for a second. Oh, I have your email.
That's just in case anybody else wants to see it.
Yeah. And just in case when I render this that it doesn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, took a picture of that. Okay.
Okay, good.
Technology is so wonderful.
Yeah, it's really fun. I have another book in progress. Both of my books are written in verse. I really love rhyming and things like that. Yeah. But I do have another book that is in progress. I'm a little hesitant about it because I'm not sure if there's a genre for it. It's much more of a adult take on our world and the have and have-nots, and a little bit more mature. So it sort of takes me out of the children's market, kind of. So I'm curious to see how that will play. That I'll probably publish that one in January.
Okay, and you never know unless you try, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of you know, anybody, for whatever you think you get. You know, we hold ourselves back a lot of the time, but you just go ahead and try something. And if it doesn't work, you pat yourself on the back for having tried. But the thing is, it could work really well. So that's what.
Yeah. And at least you tried. So you're, you know.
Yes, for sure. I just want to get back to the music instructing for a moment. What kind of music were you teaching, or do you still teach occasionally?
Oh, no, I still teach quite regularly. I teach piano and I teach singing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think honestly, I think I'm a very good piano teacher, partially because I had such a perhaps not positive experience when I was very, very young. So my concept when I do start teaching students is that from day one, you go home and you have songs that you can play. So that you feel like you're actually playing a piano and playing music. Yeah. Same thing actually with when I'm teaching acting. It's very driven to the point of performance. It's driven to the point of what's going to work, what's going to actually help you get where you're going and knowing where you're going, which is a huge thing as well.
For sure. I believe you once worked at as a talent agent.
No, I actually have not.
Oh,
Although people have begged me, I have cast a lot of things for people, but just simply because they come to me with a script. And if I've got the right students, I always love to find my students' work. So I do
right.
on that level.
I must have misread something on your profile, on your Facebook.
I think somewhere it keeps saying that I'm a talent agent, and I keep putting down, no, I'm not. This is incorrect.
And it's really hard to fix those your profile sometimes on Facebook. It's like, because mine at one point said a former host at Small Talk. Wait a minute, I'm still doing it, you know.
Yeah, just anything on the internet is quite funny. My brother is an actor out of Vancouver, Ania Danylo, and he's been at it for quite some time, and he's really very successful. He had a show called Comedy Inc. on CBC for a while, and works as a stand-up and all this sort of thing. So it was quite funny. I was looking at the internet one day, and they had him listed as being. They had a picture of him and his wife, but goodness gracious, this guy was born in 1924.
Oh, well preserved.
I was like, wow, Roman, you look really good.
Yeah. So now, other than working on your third book and doing your teaching, do you have anything coming up?
At this point in time, no, just really, really fairly solid with the book signings, which is fantastic at Indigo Chapters. Really enjoying those. Just finished doing a little bit of social media stuff for them they asked for. And in that, learning a bunch of technical stuff. I'm not really a technical person, but necessity has forced me to learn different things, like a bit of Photoshop and a bit of this and that. So dabbling with that and trying really hard not to pull my hair out when I'm doing that to make some progress. Other than that, just sort of really working with some students. I do a lot of acting coaching for people for live auditions or for self-tape auditions and things like that. And generally speaking, that's sort of my focus at this point, just kind of looking towards getting to Christmas and enjoying it.
Yeah, very good. Now, in the past, you've done some public speaking, I believe.
I've done a fair amount of public speaking. It just comes naturally with the field of acting. Very often you have to step out of the role as an actor and explain things to audiences. Sometimes I'm invited into film festivals just to do talks. Sometimes it's extremely interesting because the information you're given about what you're supposed to be doing there doesn't always match with what they're thinking of when you get there. So it's always, I always advise to my students, expect nothing and accept everything, because you really never know what you're going to walk into.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I did a fringe show a number of years ago, a lovely production of Medea by Larry Feinberg, who is a Canadian playwright. He was actually the head of Canada's Playwright Union for a while, written in verse as well, and lovely production with a wonderful young novice cast. And we had been playing in really small venues, like beside the bungee jumpers and things. And then we had this one show, and it was wonderful. We had a massive audience, but we were following a bunch of like folk singers and maybe a comedian, but mainly singers, and everybody was chilled and relaxed. And there was about 2,000 people there. And I looked at the cast and I thought, oh boy, they don't need to watch 2,000 people stand up and walk away. So I just grabbed the mic and said, okay, do you know what we're about to do? Do you know anything? It's Medea, it's Greek theater. Anybody know about Greek theater? No, not really. One hand went up. So I explained what it was. I explained the story of Medea very comically. And amazingly, they all actually stayed and watched our production.
Well, that was a marvelous idea, though, really.
Well, the absolute fear of watching young actors, some of them were in their early 20s, and it hadn't been a great experience necessarily because of the venues that we'd been in. And I just thought, oh, I could just feel their little hearts sink if all these people stood up and walked out. So it turned into be quite an interactive thing, and it was really great. We had a lot of people come and talk to us afterwards and want to know more about Greek theater and things like that. So whenever you go somewhere, you just kind of end up public speaking, really.
Yeah. There's something special about being on stage, though, isn't there? When you connect with the audience.
Honestly, there really is. I do a lot of murder mysteries, and they're very, very interactive. The family plays that I wrote were very, very interactive. And it's a great feeling to be able to chit and chat with them and then come back to the script and go away, or even just doing live theater and to feel that audience. It's an extremely different thing than working in film. I do a lot of film coaching now. And the very first thing that I need to explain to students, I feel, is you realize this is not going to be shot in order. You may be doing, your final scene long before you met the person, and you may be at somebody's funeral long before their birthday party.
Right.
So it's really a very different way of working and conceptualizing, but both are great.
Yeah, both are great. Yeah, I was just thinking about the difference between on stage and on camera and film. I mean, you get to these do-overs on camera, which you wouldn't be able to do on stage, right?
That's right. You get do-overs. You get to keep going and just pause and not, because there's editing. So there's all of that. But then there's also the other thing about continuity. You have to remember to pick up the book on the exact same line that you did in the previous scenes, so that the editor's life is not a nightmare. I shot a very short film with some of my students a while ago, and one girl had a lovely ponytail like I did, but very, very, very long hair. And sometimes her hair was on this side, and sometimes her hair was on that side. And it was one of the things that we just never thought of while we were filming. We had continuity down on everything else, where the sweaters were buttoned, what it was doing, where was all of the props and whatnot. The hair, nothing. Every time I sat with my fellow editor and we tried to edit it, it became about picking where the hair was on the right side.
Oh my gosh. I know there's some people, when they watch films, they look for things that are not right, or there's, like seeing an airplane in a movie where there were no airplanes were invented yet, or something, right?
Right. Yeah, they're always looking for the continuity and whatnot. Sometimes it really jumps out at you. Many times you don't notice, but certainly when you're sitting there editing, you do notice every little thing, and you think, why didn't I think of that? Why wasn't I watching that?
Well, I think we're going to end it here, because I know you have things to do.
I appreciate that.
In rush to moving on to the next step. I just want to thank you for being on the show very much. I appreciate it. And to the audience, I just want to thank you again. I'm going to put Ania's information on when I render this, so that you'll be able to contact her if you want to find out if her book, if you've forgotten, if you didn't watch the show, or if you weren't paying attention, you'll be able to get her copies of the book. And a good time with Christmas coming up, especially that one book, The Elephant at Christmas. That would be really cool, I think, for children. So thanks to everybody for watching the show. I hope you continue to do so. Take care and peace out.
A sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.